assignment for IT 200 digital skills for the 21st century. And our week 3 assignment is automating sales and inventory. As a new manager of a convenience store, you have noticed issues with the manual method of tracking sales using paper sales tickets and spreadsheets, as well as shortages on some of the more popular items carried in the store. Present your case for upgrading to a database-driven solution for tracking sales and inventory to the store owners. They are concerned about the cost and want to know what this upgrade would entail. Include the following: how a system could improve efficiency, how a system could improve accuracy, how sales of individual items would be entered, how the database would store the data compared to the current spreadsheet method, how monitoring of inventory levels based on sales using the database would work. Choose one of the following presentation deliverable methods: an 8 to 10 narrated slide presentation with appropriate graphics and notes. 2, written business proposal about 2 pages. And the third one could be a different deliverable that we talked about. At the bottom, you're going to see links for resources, and that's going to be to this slide deck. So I'm going to click on the link. And you should be able to get into the slide deck. If you don't or can't, let me know, right? I like to click edit and open in the desktop because I do not like working on the browser. The desktop's more robust. However, remember that everything you do on the machine, if you're logged into your account on University of Phoenix, is tracked. Right, so always remember that. But this is for academic purposes. So here, what I've done on the slide deck title page, and just add the title. Typing. And inventory. Oh my God, inventory. Right, later I'll add a picture if I want, but I've copied the assignment. I've broken out let me change this from a bullet list to a numbered list so that we know how many target areas we're hitting. So there's 5. So I've copied all of them, all those 5, into their own slide in the slide deck. So here's 1, 2, 3, 4, and our 5th one. Again, I kind of like the idea of what the Apple way of presenting and having smaller titles so that the information on the slide is more impactful than or the slide title is less impactful than the most important stuff, which is the slide itself, right? We're not trying to show off the power of PowerPoint. We're trying to get information across. So having a title is necessary for accessibility purposes and a bunch of other reasons. But we want our message to get across, not the cool title. So I'm adjusting these real quick. At least I hope it feels quick. Okay, so we've talked about most of the stuff in class already. But how does the system improve efficiency? um, could improve efficiency because it would allow the staff, the customer, to know inventory levels, sales price, expiration date, all kinds of information very in real time, right? So that's like super duper important. And with a real time database connected to the internet, that would help improve efficiency of sales, because especially if there's like, say, your grocery store and you had a bunch of inventory that was going to spoil, you could have a sale on produce or a sale on milk or whatever, to get it out of the inventory faster. Stuff like this. Think of like a business owner, and think of like what having that kind of information would allow you to do. The second one of the 5 is how a system could improve accuracy. Again, if you had a barcode system, a scanning system, the customer and the staff could simply scan items in or out of inventory. That would reduce typos, silly human error, and the less type of entry that is done typically improves accuracy. And if one system is followed and there's one standard operating procedure, there's one or two things you have to fix, right? When things go wrong, if everyone's doing it their own way, it's hard to troubleshoot or fix or improve processes. So you get an improvement in accuracy for sales, inventory levels, data entry. You also get a more accurate count of what needs to be sold immediately, what could be on our shelves longer. And again, garbage in, garbage out is a huge problem. So can you really get mad at your map app if you enter a, like McDonald's, right? But you really want to go to Kohl's, or you want to go to River Park, and you enter downtown Fresno address. Garbage in, garbage out. With an improved data input method, the accuracy improves, the outcomes improve, right? Our next slide was kind of already answered as we're going through, but on this slide you would focus on how you could enter them, right? There's barcode, there's scanners, there's, what are they called, QR codes. There's the traditional method, and this is where you would stress the difference between a human entering it or a human using it. COVID-19, home office. You could also mention here, I'm back by the way, perhaps mention again for disabilities or differently abled individuals, how could data be entered by them too? We might have I think we just discussed in class how there's devices that scan individuals' eyes to help them read better. So again, there's all kinds of ways to enter data, but for the stores, it's mostly the barcode, QR codes, scannable, identifiable, unique items like that for the most part. The next one would be how the database would store data compared to the current spreadsheet method. So again, the big thing I would stress to a board that didn't know about cloud would be the fact that the database could be shared, interacted in the cloud in real time with people in different locations, even speaking different languages, because there's tools that allow for that to occur. Whereas the spreadsheet method, it's very difficult to co-author, to adjust things in a spreadsheet. Additionally, spreadsheets produce what are called flat files. So those are very difficult to use. The term flat file, we'll probably discuss more in class, but that's one of the biggest drawbacks to spreadsheets. Databases are interactive, can be used and shared. Spreadsheets using a flat file system is very, very difficult to do similar actions and activities for businesses. But just beyond that, again, think about using Excel. Wouldn't you rather have like a dashboard? So a lot of people will try to use and build dashboards in Excel. That's a mimic of a database user interface. So you're taking a tool and you're making it do things it can do, but it's difficult. Whereas a true database, especially a modern database, they usually have a nice interface that allows you to pull statistics, numbers, do procedures, run reports in a much easier way. The next one, 5 out of 5, how monitoring inventory levels based on sales using the database would work. Again, you could have in a database not just the current inventory count of a particular item. You could get the metadata. You could break it down into dimensions. So this is a term called big data, and we'll kind of talk about that in class too. But it's the idea of taking data and then like slicing it up to look at it at different ways and different from different perspectives. And that is the power, again, of the database, is that you can take that, generate reports, so you can take a mass amount of data and do forecasting much easier. So those are the big 5 that we hit, that we're supposed to hit on the assignment. But remember, the overall is 7 to 8 slides, so I would add 1, 2, 3, 4 more slides. Well, I would definitely add, we have 6 slides right now, so I would definitely add at least 2 to 4 more slides and discuss what the assignment says. Present your case for upgrading a database-driven solution for tracking sales and inventory to the store owners. So in addition to the slide, you might want to have an additional slide, perhaps 20, because it's 21st century class, right? 21st century or maybe cloud inventory solutions. And present an overview of what the cloud is. And then in conclusion, right after you do your 5, or your recommendations, and maybe even before that, you could do a like workflow example. And so you now have your 5 main, then you have a slide 6 for the overview of the cloud, and you have your slide 7 for your recommendations, and then you have another one for an example of how things in your mind would run. So there's your 8 slides, and then you always want to have, the ability for questions. And then another one for resources used or cited. And that, I think, would be a good start. Again, if you have any questions, need anything, let me know. This is Peter Fortuna for the University of Phoenix, IT 200, Digital Skills for the 21st Century, Week 3, Automating Sales and Inventory.